Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We are smack dab in the middle of summer, and this is another big summer movie that a lot of people are looking forward to. Now, I have made videos about the movies leading up to this one, Rise and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because in my opinion, both of those movies are awesome, so you can go ahead and check out those videos if you want. But now that I've finally seen the third installment, let's talk about it. War for the Planet of the Apes. So War for the Planet of the Apes is, like I said, the third installment of the Planet of the Apes prequel reboot series. Rise of the Planet of the Apes established how the apes got smart. Dawn established that, okay, humans are going bye-bye and apes are starting to take over as a dominant species on the planet. Now, War for the Planet of the Apes takes place 5 years after the events of Dawn, and like the title suggests, the war is here. There is absolutely zero chance for peace anymore. They are just humans versus apes. There's no escaping it. The last of the human armies being led by a ruthless colonel who really puts Caesar in some horrible positions where he has to make some pretty fucking tough decisions. And now we have our end to the trilogy, which I'm not gonna keep you in suspense. This movie is fucking awesome. First off, of course, Andy Serkis as Caesar. No one's gonna argue at this point that he probably deserves an Oscar. In this movie, Caesar has never been through so much emotional turmoil. The apes have suffered countless losses at the hands of the humans, and Caesar just feels the weight of all of it, and you really see it in his facial expressions. Part of that is the motion capture and the visual effects, and I'll get to that, but another big part of it, of course, is Andy Serkis' acting. And what can I say? He fucking kills it. But the actor who really blew me away in this film is Woody Harrelson as the Colonel, because I'm not really used to seeing Woody Harrelson in dramatic roles. I'm used to seeing him in more comedic roles, like in Cheers. I know he's had a few dramatic roles here and there, but I haven't really seen them. But goddamn, he's got a scene in this movie I'm not gonna spoil where he's just pretty much letting it all out, and I was just sitting there in awe. I was like, god damn, Woody Harrelson, I didn't know you could do this. He really does a damn good job at bringing Caesar down to his level. You really feel the animosity behind his character. I love it. You do find out why he is the way he is, and it's just a really emotional scene. It was great. Just all sorts of props to Woody Harrelson in this movie. He blew my mind. Other notable characters worth mentioning are, first of all, a newcomer, Amia Miller as Nova. She's this little girl with something wrong with her that the apes stumble upon her and they kind of take her in. And she kind of serves as like an emotional attachment in this film to show that the apes actually have some humanity in them. Because really, you look at Rise and Dawn and they both had a solid protagonist human character because those films show that both sides could still get along. In this film, they don't have that. There's not a solid protagonist human character. Nova's really there to show that the apes still have a heart, and her acting is just not bad at all. A few scenes with her brought me on the verge of tears. It's not often I can say that about a child actor. And lastly, there's a new ape. He calls himself Bad Ape. He's played by Steve Zahn. I want to say he's there for comic relief, but he actually does serve a purpose in the story. But he is the one who kind of brings some lighthearted, okayness to the movie. Can I say it like that? Like, this movie is really heavy, and so when Bad Ape has a comedic moment, you're like, oh, okay, wow, I can just kind of... It takes the pressure off a little bit, you know? This movie had more comedic moments than Dawn did because of Bad Ape, but I didn't feel like these comedic moments compromised the effectiveness of the drama of the film at all. I feel like the director was really careful in going, okay, can we put a joke in here? Would it ruin the entire scene? If it does, then let's just not have it in there. Because yeah, this movie is a handful of emotions. Like, very early on in the movie, like, something happens that just locked me right in emotionally, and I was almost, like, on the verge of tears. I was so into it. Because at this point, if you like Rise and Dawn, then you've grown really attached to Caesar and his community of apes. So when certain things happen to certain characters, it's just tragic. There was some really gut-wrenchingly emotional scenes in this movie. Matt Reeves made sure of that. And then there is the action. This is a war movie for sure. The action is not just like, oh, like a funnish action scene. No, like, this is war. Like, Mockingjay Part 2, for example, I walked out of that movie going, yeah, war is just the worst thing that can happen on the face of the planet. Because it really drove home that war is just a terrible thing. And this movie did that too. It's just, humans and apes are just dying and the sad music's kicking on. You're like, Jesus. The war scenes mixed very well with the drama. And I feel like this movie would be more effective if you like Rise and Dawn, because I know people who have either seen Rise and Dawn and are not fans of them, or have just not seen Rise or Dawn. Like my friend who went to go see this with me today, he didn't see Rise or Dawn and he said it was good, but he wasn't like as emotionally affected as I was. I mean, it just makes sense, you watch the movies leading up to it and it's gonna be more emotionally effective. And this goes without saying, but I'll say it anyways, the visual effects in this movie were fucking perfect. Like I said, the visual effects in Rise didn't really age that well. Dawn looked really good. War for the Planet of the Apes looks even better than Dawn. I'm telling you, this should probably win Best Visual Effects at the Oscars. I don't know if it will, it might have some competition, but I can promise you it's going to be nominated for sure. Because holy shit, this motion capture is just great. The details you see in like these apes' skin, I saw this movie in 3D. It didn't have to be in 3D, but like the 3D I guess did emphasize the visual effects a little bit. The 3D was really good though, so there is that. But of course, you know, it's not like the 3D adds to the effectiveness of the film, you know? You see it in 2D, it'll be just as effective. The musical score was once again done by Michael Giacchino. He did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I was hoping he would bring back certain motifs from Dawn. He did bring back some themes, and he also introduced some new, more dramatic ones. I mean, yeah, he did give Bad Ape a theme, but there's also just like this big war theme, and it's sad and dramatic and epic as fuck. When I walked out of this movie, I was a little bit emotionally drained, I'm not gonna lie. It's just a lot to take in. Once again, not a casual watch. You gotta sit down and lock in for 2.5 hours. But take it from me, it's 2.5 hours well spent. Excellent story, excellent acting, great visual effects. War for the Planet of the Apes is a solid wrap up to this Planet of the Apes trilogy. They might make more, I don't know if they will, but I'm perfectly fine if they don't because this trilogy is fucking solid. So yes, for War for the Planet of the Apes, I will proudly say, go see this movie right now. Just prepare to be emotionally drained. So War for the Planet of the Apes, have you seen it? What did you think about it? And how does it rank among all these Apes movies for you? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.